3, 2, 1. What's up, guys, and welcome to our new YouTube channel. This is Gabriel Macario. I am Kristin Kotinik, and this is Spark After Dark. Today's going to be a special episode.
It's a special occasion. Kristin doesn't actually drink, but it is a special occasion. I finally got out of the losing streak.
Hey!
Finally got out of the slump.
Today is Wednesday, November 7th. How many days? That's not right at all.
No. Sunday was November 6th.
What is it, November 8th?
I think it's 9.
Wednesday, November 9th. 3 days
Let's just keep
after.
It's Wednesday.
All right. Well, it's 3 days after Gabe baby won his fight.
Okay, finally.
All right. Let's cheers to that. Shout out Brittany Cloudy, first of all, for these beautiful wine glasses that she gave us at our housewarming party a couple weekends ago. Gabe's dominating win over Frank Maynell. Sorry, Frank. Gabe was on a 4-fight losing streak. Also, all beautiful fights. And that there was always that little something that had him coming up short. And that something was definitely found this fight. So, Gabriel, go ahead and talk us through the evolution and what got you to have the success that you did this past fight.
So, my first fight with Shaquem Richardson. That was a crazy fight. That was awesome. I won, but it was the same way of my other fights. I was doing just barely enough to win the fight. And it was a split decision. After that was COVID. Since I was coming from a win, jury respected me a lot.
Shout out Eric Garcia.
He was giving me the chance to show who I was. And he put me for the title right away.
Cameron Graves.
Cameron Graves. First round, I knocked him down. Vicious ground and pound. Almost knocked him out. Almost get the stoppage. After that, I start to slow down a little bit. Remember, it's a 5-round fight. And I caught a head kick, which is like Cameron Graves' trademark knockout move.
And that was your first knockout?
Yes.
Where was your head at? Where was your mentality at going into the Edwin Chavez fight?
I don't think I was very concerned with getting knocked out again because I got knocked down right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Right, beautiful spinning elbow. Shout out Edwin Chavez for that spinning elbow. That was really good. I don't know how I knew, but I asked Joe. I was like, "That was an elbow, right?" I was like, "Yeah," because I knew he only could have been an elbow the way he spun and the angle that he came from, but I saw nothing. But when I fell on the floor, I was already shit. That happened again. Like I was already ready to grapple when I got to the floor.
All right, so Edwin Chavez, and then what happened after you lost to Edwin?
Fury gave me another opportunity to fight for another belt.
The toughest motherfucker belt was a rematch between him and Shaquem because the first fight was so fucking awesome. They had to run it back. Yeah,
man, it was a war.
If you appreciate fighting, you'll appreciate that fight. So, all right, so well, you got the opportunity for the toughest motherfucker belt. What happened there?
So I started chasing Shaquem down the octagon, and I go to double up on my left hand, and just walk into his right hand, right. Jab and hook in the air, trying to connect my right. And as I'm going to my right, I'm already taking a right here. First actual exchange, I got knocked down on my ass. I'm like, okay, I'm going to play guard here. Same thing. As I hit the ground, I'm already looking for grips. As we're back to striking, I just got knocked down. So I guess his confidence is good on the striking. But I just start chasing him again.
Yeah, the whole fight you were like his back was to the cage and then, you had him pressured up against the cage the whole fight.
And then I start connecting punches. Yeah. After I stand up, I just start tagging him over and over. Body, head, connecting. And man, I wanted to showcase that I was better on the feet and on the ground.
Or didn't?
Did. And I hit my takedown. In the first fight, I took like 5 seconds to pass his guard. So on the second fight, I'm going to pass his guard easy, just like the first time. And I just leave my hand in there, pushing his knee in too much for too long. And he grabbed my wrist, kept the hand in there, gets his foot out, and locks up a triangle. And I couldn't stop it. And I had to tap.
And you can hear me in that fight, like yelling, you're good, you're good. Like, I don't think I even said the posture. I just figured that you knew. But with such a slow reaction time to like the danger that you were in, it seemed like you getting knocked down that first round dazed you. Like that knockdown maybe like impaired you in some kind of way? Do you think that happened?
Maybe. So part of the reason why I took him down too was I was yelling at me to take him down in the corner. In the break from first to second round, I never looked at him. He said my eyes were lost.
Yeah.
So he was really afraid of me staying on the feet and keep striking. But I remember I was feeling great striking. I was connecting all my punches. But after the fight, I was talking to Vinny, and Vinny said that I kept asking the same
No,
thing.
that was me,
like
bro. That was me. So that was me and Vinny.
Exactly.
That was both, and that was like literally Gabe asked me at least 7 times what happened. How did he lose? And you were like, even after the fight, you were just kind of walking around like a lost child, like you were with us, but like again, just like not really fully there. And I had never seen him like that. So for like those of you who are not too familiar with the fight world, like CTE is fucking real, first of all. And it is kind of crazy and scary, like what you put your body through more so than the physical damage that you see. All right, back to our original question from 30 minutes ago. What was your mentality? What changed for you going into your last fight? And why do you think you had success the way that you did coming off of 4 losses? Because 4 losses, y'all, like lesser men would have stopped fighting, right? I think lesser men would have really fallen to the negative thought seed that had been planted of, is this really for me? Like, am I really that good? Like, am I just hyping myself up? Like, whatever it is, you know? And I'm sure that you had all of those same thoughts. And to overcome and continue pursuing a career in fighting and to fucking win, there was just always that something where you came up short. So what do you think it was that clicked for you?
Of course, I had self-doubt, but it was more like my worry was not if this was for me, if this was my thing or not. I knew this was my thing. Like, I changed my whole diet. I changed my diet and changed the way I eat and the way I live because I wanted to be fighting until I'm 50. I put that number 50. I wanted to be fighting until I'm 50. And after the losses too. But I wasn't worried about if this for me. I was worried about, is everybody going to be looking at me, my family, my friends, like, bro, you keep losing. Stop fighting already. You know, I was worried about that. People stopped giving me chances. Like, you're like 6 and 32. Where are you trying to? You got to retire already. You're like,
I've seen some fighters with horrible fucking records that sell tickets and they're still fighting, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. At the end of the day,
I guess I'm worried about that too. About my students and whoever buy tickets. Yeah, you know, like, again, we're gonna see Gabe get knocked the fuck out,
but they're gonna see a fucking awesome show.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Awesome performance.
That's true. My losses were it was easier because my losses were close, but yeah, I was worried about that. But now, man, this time. I worked with a psychologist. Shout out Gustavo. My psychologist told me I just completely forget that I was coming from losses. Then I had to put in my head that maybe I was coming from wins.
How did you do that?
Well,
how did you overcome? Because there are people who have lost one fight, but I can think of a fighter who won all of his amateur fights and then lost his one fight and has not returned. So what would you say, like, what can those people do who are struggling to overcome that loss? Like, what was it?
I think it's particular to every person. What is stopping you? You know, what is the thought that's stopping you? There was a lot of things that are very particular to my case, like being in a new country and feeling like I had to prove myself to everybody. And like that in itself might not be a problem.
I was going to say, right? Yeah. For a lot of people,
but
that's
for me,
okay.
it was, for me, like trying to prove myself, trying to prove everybody that I was good, was getting in the way, but trying to prove people wrong, like in every little interaction, in every little situation, like in this pummeling, in this punch, I was like, now I'm going to prove people wrong. Instead of just relax, throwing my punch, I'm like, now it's going to be the time. And then it wasn't. I'm like, fuck, it wasn't this time. Okay, now I'm gonna prove it wrong. That hook is gonna be like, remember the boom, and I just loaded up too much. And
so it's interesting, you know, because like those are the same exact feelings that I have that come out as emotions when I'm training. The difference is like the composure to a certain degree is like you would be eager to prove. And so you would get more impatient. I would be eager in training, at least, to prove, and I would get emotional. So it's just the same input, but different emotional response to a certain degree.
I think even same emotion response to different situations. Mine was in the fight year, I was in training.
But you weren't, different emotional response, like you weren't crying. I was crying.
But I would just wouldn't like overflow in that way. You know, I would just wouldn't like.
Oh. We interrupt this program to bring you
we just keep going.
the official. No, we don't have to interrupt it, but it's officially Spark After Dark, people. Gabe is hitting the first spark. I care about this. Anyways, the original question from 2 hours ago or however long we've been here was, what changed? And I was pretty sure that we covered it, but Gabe said he's not told you his secret sauce. What was the secret sauce to what changed? I don't know about that.
What do you
mean?
This is Spark After Dark. So the thing is,
Kristin also doesn't smoke very much.
What changed, I think, like, was listening to John Danaher on the Extremers podcast saying, my job as a coach is to let the athlete know that everything, fireworks, all the crowd, all the music, everything is fake. What is real is you and the other person. You and the other person is the only thing that's actually happening there. Everything else is just for show. You know, it's nothing different than what you always do, you always been doing, and that you do several times a day and not even think about it. Listening to that, I was like, shit, that completely took nerves out.
Nice, yeah.
And like,
focus on familiarity. Mm-hmm.
And it's just another sparring session.
Nice, yeah.
You know, and if I do so well in
if
sparring,
this person, right, gym wars shit happens where you get some person new, somebody visiting from out of town that you've never sparred with before, and coach tells you like, yo, go represent the gym. That's essentially what it is.
I would say that not even. I would say that involves nerves.
Yeah.
I say that
because there's the pressure of the gym supporting.
Yeah, I think you and your training partner, you and your best training partner. That's how you make the most beautiful sparring sessions, right?
True.
You and your best training partner, when both of you are loose and barely trying to take each other's head off. Not really trying, but not really like all that much too.
But you want to take the other person's head off.
Yeah, absolutely. But not all the time. You know, because if you're trying all the time, you're going to load too much. They're going to see coming. I think it is just trying to play the game, you know, and spar like with your best training partner, because that's when the most beautiful sparring sessions come. And everything is fast and
you're just flowing.
And then you tag them. Boom. Now you want to take their head off.
Yeah, I see.
You know, I didn't load up in any of those. Even the low kicks were super hard, but if I missed one, I didn't spin.
Yeah.
You know, it was hard. Everything was hard, but you know, just fast and like flowing. Mm-hmm. Once I got him and he turned away, now I went like, and even those two knees weren't all that hard, boom, boom, but then the hands were boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to take the head off.
I got
you know, it's when you smell blood.
Yeah.
When you see that, you can finish the fight right there, and then you can waste 20% of your gas tank in those 20 seconds. You know, because if you're thinking like that all the time, your gas tank is gonna last 100 seconds.
Yes. Yeah, I see.
And the fight is 15 minutes. Can be 15 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
And you don't want like. I used to think like, okay, I'm fighting this 15 minutes. Let's not try to finish because I'm gonna wear myself out. You know, and that's kind of right. But also, when you get them hurt, you gotta invest some of the gas tank.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't actually finish.
Let them recover.
But you don't want to waste it all.
Yeah.
Because if they're not finishing fight.
Yeah.
But.
All right. It's 9:08. I was so excited to keep the podcast going and like perform and entertain everybody and like have it be like packaged up in this pretty little presentation of like, here's me and Gabe's first episode together. Like, watch us end on a perfect note, right? Like, here's my outro. But in reality, I'm like,